So we'll see. All right, Ask Jay, episode 81. This is a test run, or it might be the real Ask Jay if my sound is working. I know I did episode 81 yesterday, and it didn't work. Sound. And thank you guys for the tweets and the comments. And so now Chris Darden's on the other line of my phone. He's going to let me know if you guys can hear me.
Wait for yet. I don't know where it pops up at, though. Where do you watch it live?
They watch it live on my channel, I suppose. I don't know.
Here it is. I think it's right here. Oh, I got you.
Can you hear me? Outside of I'm going to mute you on my phone. See if you can hear me, Chris.
Actually, yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, great. All right, bye, Chris. All right, guys. So cool. We're rolling. We're live. I'm so disappointed because yesterday I actually thought was my best Ask Jay episode in 80 episodes, honestly. I said I was sitting right here in my hotel room on the same bed, and I'm a little under the weather, so pardon me. My throat is like too much talking and running around. I don't know, whatever. But I said some great stuff yesterday. It's going to be hard to repeat it all. I started with like, wow, I was smiling, and I'm happy to do this, and man, it was a good episode yesterday. You guys missed it. I wish you could lip read. But for whatever reason, my sound didn't work. So yesterday, I know some points I did make. Man, I can't even do it over. It was like so spontaneous. But I guess my motivational message was about intensity. I know that was part of it, and I was just talking about, I'm doing a corner class in Baltimore. So in Baltimore, next week on 1/16/16, I'm going to be teaching real estate, credit, and wealth building on the corner. And I made a reference yesterday in our episode 81, which I'm redoing now. And I made a reference about, I did it at like 1:30 in the morning yesterday. That's the other thing. I was up late last night for this episode. Anyway, sorry. I'm still stuck on why yesterday's didn't work and it was so good. But I did talk about the corner class and how people will be like, well, what if it's cold, or, what if it starts drizzling, or, if the weather or whatever, right? I'm teaching the class in the corner. And will people come? And I said, like, the mentality of people is so funny, because if I said I'm doing a corner class in Baltimore outside teaching real estate, but Young Jeezy's going to be there, or Future's going to be there, or Drake's going to be there, or Nicki Minaj is going to be there, or Beyonce's going to be there, not teaching, not singing, they're just going to be there. Everybody will come out. So what is it about a celebrity that will make you come outside in the cold to just look at a celebrity, or you even pay money to watch a celebrity, or pay money to buy a celebrity's album so they can sign it for you, but you don't see the value in coming out in cold weather to get financial education that you don't even have? And this is for the people that don't have real estate portfolios or business portfolios, people that aren't wealthy, people that don't have credit, or don't understand wealth building, or don't understand how to use city grants to buy properties, or don't understand how to, redevelop a home. Like, why would you not come out to a free class on something that actually changes your life, but you will come out to see a celebrity and go back to your broke life, and go back to your depressed and oppressed life? And that celebrity did nothing for you. You seeing a celebrity, going to watch them at a club, an album signing, even going to their concert, does nothing for you, except maybe motivate you or excite you because they made it. Like, come on. So I talk about mentality, I say intensity. I talk about people who are in New York, in D.C., in Virginia, in Pennsylvania, Jersey. Drive down to the corner class. One, to learn, but even if you know everything that I know, right? Even if I can't teach you anything, which is very few people I can't teach anything, because I know a lot. I have a lot of experience, a lot of wealth and knowledge. But even if you can't learn anything, come to support. Come to support me, or forget me, come to support the community of Baltimore, in which we all glued into this TV after the Freddie Gray incident and watched what was going on in Baltimore. Come see what it looks like to see 32 vacant houses out of a 40-house block. Block after block after block like that. Come see what real oppression looks like in America, and come get motivated to do something about it. So I talked about intensity, like really actually doing stuff and living it out. That's what I talked about yesterday. And you should be motivated by that. Like, make the time, even if it's not in driving distance. What if it costs you $300 to fly to Baltimore and $150 for a hotel room and $50 for a rental car? So it's a $500 trip. Make the sacrifice. Imagine that experience for that $500 to support, to be, if you have it like that. Maybe you don't have it like that, so just watch it on Periscope. But the point is to get involved and be involved. Like, and that's what I'm trying to show everyone and lead by example. It's like, I got plenty I could do with my time. I got plenty I could do with my money. But what I want to do, my passion, my calling is to help those who are underserved. Another point I made yesterday, I'm trying to repeat yesterday, is that I was driving into my hotel parking lot, and I thought about, I always think about just real stuff, right? The condition of America. So, me, I have a lot of European American friends, white friends, right? I have a lot of Jewish friends. And I think, like, for all of us, even if they're not our friends or not, as black people or Native Americans or people that have been affected by white people in the past, right? Our ancestors were, and even today, by this system and by some white people as well, and blacks for that matter. But my point is, I don't want to lose my point. My point is, we can't blame today's white Americans for what happened to our ancestors by their ancestors years ago, right? Like, white Americans, it's not their fault they're privileged. It's not their fault that what their ancestors did. And we can't blame them for that. Although there is a level of accountability of acknowledging their privilege and acknowledging the circumstance, right? But we can't blame them for that. But at the same time that we can't blame white Americans for their privilege, their inherited privilege, or for the destructive actions of their ancestors, if you can't blame white Americans for their privilege, then you can't blame African Americans, black Americans, and you can't blame us for our underprivilege, for our depression. You can't say it's black Americans' fault that we're the poorest in America, or that the wealth gap that white America, the typical white American family has a family net worth 13 times that of a typical black family. So we can't blame them for being 13 times more wealthier than us. That's not necessarily their fault today, but then you can't blame us for being in the situation that we're in. However, we are the descendants of those who were captured, and not just captured, but captured, used, and abused, and it being permitted by our government, and then we never got any repair. Everybody turned their back on us. Like, yeah, we know you were captured from another country and brought here, and we know that you were enslaved, and we know that you were physically beaten and mentally tortured and emotionally tortured and abused and traumatized. We know that. Everyone knows it, but we ain't doing nothing about it. Like, okay, deal with it. So, as a black American, I understand that it is our duty to do something about it for ourselves, right? And that's what I'm committed to, is not waiting for anybody else to repair us, although I do plan on holding them accountable, but doing it for ourselves. But again, not blaming others today for what their ancestors did, but I'm not going to take blame for the condition of my people today for what my ancestors went through, right? So just putting things in perspective, right? And just being real. So anyway, I want to hop into the 5 questions that I answered yesterday that I got to answer again today. And then this will be episode 81, and then I'm going to hang up or end this live stream for Ask Jay, and then I'm going to come back for episode 82. All right, so yesterday I'll answer again from Facebook. Tony Mitchell asked, if you had to choose between flipping and buying and holding real estate, which one would you choose? And what I said yesterday to Tony, and I'll say today, is that everyone has a different strategy. Buying and flipping is typically to raise capital, to produce large amounts of capital for either businesses, more real estate, building a portfolio, or whatever the hell you want to do. But buying and flipping is a capital generator, more so than a portfolio builder, obviously. And buying and holding is to build your portfolio to get tax benefits, build equity, and long-term cash flow. Buying and flipping is more a short-term strategy towards your long-term end goal. Buying and holding is strictly long-term for the most part, and cash flow though, monthly cash flow. So it all depends on your personal strategy. And so for me, I'll use any method that fits me at the time in which I'm in, depending on what I'm trying to get done. And right now, I'm more in a portfolio stage of my life. So that's that. And thank you for that question, Tony. Also from Facebook, Samantha Holly asks, I know you're not Dr. Phil, but in your honest opinion, do you think an entrepreneur can date someone who isn't an entrepreneur? And so I answered Samantha, I said, right? Yeah, I answered Samantha by saying, from my experience, and I do have great relationship advice, I believe, all right? Not being Dr. Phil, but I get it. So I said, there's pros and cons. There's kind of two ways to look at dating an entrepreneur or not dating an entrepreneur, and you are one. One is that there is some magic to dating an entrepreneur, and the fact that you both have the same kind of grind, the same kind of passions. You guys, will probably build together based on that. Um, and so there's a certain kind of intensity, a certain lifestyle to entrepreneurs, and you guys will get that. And that's kind of cool that you guys will understand the entrepreneur lifestyle and what you go through, the trials, tribulations, and can mix your talents together to build something potentially greater. So there's a perk to dating an entrepreneur. Uh, then the non-perk, I guess, to that, or the other side to that coin, is that in dating someone who isn't an entrepreneur and you are an entrepreneur, is that you actually get the yin to your yang, and you can have balance there because as an entrepreneur, we live a certain type of lifestyle and certain type of intensity, and there's, uh, you know, we sometimes need a break, and dating an entrepreneur could probably be really, really intense, and you may want some kind of normalcy, so to speak, in your life, and you may be able to get a different perspective from someone else. And so I think that is just a little more balance there if you date someone that's a non-entrepreneur. Um, so those are like the pros and cons to it, in a sense, right? So you really can't. I don't think you can really say what's better or not better. I see the logic in both is my point, and from my experiences, understand uh, the benefits of both. So that's my Dr. Phil, my Dr. J. Then we got from Facebook, excuse me, from IG. I am Brian Porter asks, will you suggest? That's another one. Hold on, let me see. Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, I am Brian Porter asks, will you suggest I wait until I have my real estate license before I join JMA? And I said no to Brian Porter, and not no because I just want Brian Porter to be part of JMA, but because if you plan on being a real estate investor, you need to go to a school that teaches you how to be a real estate investor. If you simply want to be a real estate agent, then yes, you go to real estate agent school. But even in just being a real estate agent, you should know how to invest in real estate so that you can yourself build your own wealth and portfolio, not just work to help other people do that. Secondly, understanding how to invest in real estate as an agent, you now can service your clients better because you'll have information and knowledge and strategies to be able to provide your clients and understand what they're talking about. So I suggest for those agents that you come to JMA and learn how to be a real estate investor so you could really, because you're not going to learn that in real estate licensing school. They're not going to teach you how to be a real estate investor. They're going to teach you how to be a worker for a real estate investor, which is a licensed realtor, a licensed real estate agent. So that's my answer to that. Then from Twitter, at Miss D. Joan asked, at Mr. J. Morrison, okay, yeah, what are your thoughts on city auctions, e.g. in Detroit, my city? Is it worth it for a beginner investor to take part in? Ask J. And I say absolutely. I actually know one of my alumni, JMA alumni, Raylonda McClinton, started her real estate career by investing and by purchasing at auctions in Detroit, your same city. And she did really well for herself. Um, and why she did well is because she took our course and followed my blueprint exactly, built her business, and was able to understand what was going on at the auction and understand the strategy she needed to implement in regards to other investors and how to evaluate the deals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have the knowledge base, yes, investing at auctions can be a good opportunity, especially where they're extremely cheap in a city like Detroit. And then our fifth question in Ask Jay from YouTube, Harlem World King. asks, what would you advise be a good commercial property investment in New York, any borough? So, and I said to him, is that there's no general statement to just say, oh, this is a good commercial real estate investment, because it may not be. But because of the rental market in New York, I will say multifamily housing, 8 units, 10 units, 20 units, 200 units, is a pretty sound investment likely in New York City. Uh, you know, in Manhattan, if you have Manhattan kind of money, but even in Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, um, there's opportunities there if you know what you're doing. And I say, or it could be a commercial storefront. It just depends, like, what your strategy is and what you know. But I will say multifamily housing in New York has a strong rental market and has for years. So I would say multifamily housing would be wise. I'd agree. So anyway, this is not the Ask Jay that it was yesterday. I think I did pretty good though. But yesterday was awesome. But again, we live, and I can't say we learn because I didn't do anything wrong. But we live, we learn, we deal with it. What can go wrong will go wrong. Had a great JMA orientation call tonight for all the new students. Call was popping, and it was great to see. Typically, because I don't know, because I'm a male, a lot of males, kings, men, um, you know, tend to follow me or to learn from me. But in this call, I would say probably it was close to 50-50, our kings and our queens, our men and our women on the call. So I was happy for that, to see that more of our queens are getting active in learning wealth education. And my brand is reaching our queens as well. So that's good. Good thing. So like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share the video, comment below. I hope you guys heard me. I think you heard me. Chris said you heard me. And I'll be right back for episode 82. Again, I'm live from my hotel room on the road. Been promoting for our Baltimore corner classes next week in Baltimore, 11616. And, you know, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm like in hotel mode. I haven't left my bed all day, to be honest with you. Well, I haven't left my room all day. I left my bed like twice. So I'm just working from the room. We don't stop. Ride don't stop. See you guys episode 82 in a couple minutes, actually. So we out. Peace. Ding.